recording. So this is the second session. I'm gonna share my screen now also, so you can see the full presentation. Okay, so you can see my screen and the presentation itself.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. So today, this is the session number 2. We covered last time what is Power BI, and I saw all your definition for Power BI. I think we are aligned. You get the points. You know what is Power BI. We saw last time how to be ready to have the Dynamics 365 Business Central, and we talked theoretically about how to get the Dynamics 365 CRM ready also for Power BI, but we didn't see it in practice. Today we are going to see it. Today is we are going to cover the module 3 and 4. Module 3 is to prepare Dynamics 365 Business Central and CRM data to be used for Power BI. There is something specific for Business Central, and how to build Power BI reports to display these data, Dynamics 365 data in Power BI. Next time, I'm gonna show you how we create also the dashboard. So the reports, as we said last time, the reports is what we are doing in Power BI desktop is what we call reports. Okay, when it is published on Power BI services, it's become, as it's based on the terminology of Power BI, it's become a dashboard. So next time, it's gonna be the create dashboard, and we're gonna see how we can add Power BI reports in Dynamics 365 Role Center. So it's a very, also important step. It's going to be also recorded. So in case there is a part that has to be done by your admin, the Azure part. So we're going to see how it is good to be. We can create in Power BI certain reports, and you can publish it on Business Central Role Center. So it's going to be very, very effective for you. And they will have final practical lab. It's a big lab that we are going to do as a practical case altogether for Power BI and Dynamics 5 data. Okay, so today the objective will be to understand how when to use different visuals. So I'm going to cover visuals, a big part of visuals today while creating reports in Power BI desktop. We are going to understand how to prepare data in Business Central and CRM before showing it in Power BI, and how to build Power BI reports to show Dynamics 5 data, and for sure the practice. So the model 3, in order to prepare our data to be used in Power BI. And for Business Central, I'm going to cover the first section, Business Central. Then we will practice an example of Business Central. Then we will see the Dynamics 5 CRM part. For Business Central, there is 4 steps. As I grouped them personally, it's not like that defined, but I define them as the 4 steps. The first step is you have to select the page and the query within the web services of Dynamics 365, Nav or Business Center. But it depends what you are using. So you have to go to web services, select a page, make sure that the page or queries that we'd like to use their data in Power BI are available. Then you have to publish this web services, and you consider to take the OData URL and copy it, to take it to OData, copy this OData URL and paste it in the OData feed of Power BI. So this is the 4 steps, very easy steps. We are going to do it now together directly after I explain the second chart. So the first one, you create a new line, select a page or query, give it a name, then publish it, copy the URL, go to Power BI and paste the URL in the OData feed, and voila, you can start using this data itself. So the first step is to connect data, is the one different between Dynamics product or any source. But the other part, once data are there, The all other steps are the same, whatever data you are using. So all other steps that we are going to practice today in the second part of the session, they will be generic for any type of data that you have. So before we practice these four steps, it's very important to know that what are object type available in web services are the code units, pages, and queries. These are the three type of objects that you can define in web services. So the first thing is you select your page or query. The advantage of a query, usually it can get data from different tables and nav, but the drawback of the queries, it must be done by somebody at the admin part and nav, or somebody. There is a predefined queries already available template that you have already, but in case you need any specific query, you can ask either your partner or consultant who's working with you, or the admin of inside your company, to create the query in nav so you can use it directly in the system. So I think we have somebody joining. Okay, so let me go back. So then after we select these, we can have many web services published by, there is a many published already web services published by default, but you can also publish as much as you want of web services, of objects, once you define them in Business Central or Dynamics Nav. So you don't have limitation on this. There is unlimited the number of web services that you can do. This task, the only one of creating the web services, you might not have access. I don't know. You will see now if you have access or not. But usually it is an admin part task. But you can. Some people, they have access to it, so they might be able to use it. So the first step is we have to go to web services. So either we in the search part on the top we put web services. So then you select this web service. It take you to the available web services now on the system. All you see, there is code unit, there is page, and there is also query. So there is three type of object, as I mentioned, for this web services. The code unit, usually it is a function that can take parameter and give back certain data. It's not very easy to be used by you. Usually it is used more by developers and integration between solutions. What we are going to cover today is the page and query. So we have page and query. So you will see that there is already predefined web services available, and once you see that these web services are published, this means that you can already use them in Power BI. So you just need to take this OData v4 URL, you copy it, and take it to Power BI. Now we are going to create together a new one just to show you how we can really prepare data to be seen in Power BI. So when you click, you have here a new button. I don't know if you have the permission to do it, but you can do this by selecting clicking on the new button. Then after this, you select the page. So you select the type page, and in the object ID section, if you know the number of the page or the name of the page, you can put it here, or you click advanced. When you click advanced, I will add now the table item, for example. Okay, so I put item in the name, I click enter or either. So you see here I have item card, I have items. So this is the list of items. I have a lot of list objects or pages called items. What I will go into, I will take the page items 31. I click OK. So it goes directly to here. Service names have, okay, so now I have, there is a pop-up warning that you have to put the service name. Yes, I will put item and the service name for training. You cannot put space or any special character. It's better to put the name. You can add space in the new version. Yes, they added, but it is better to put the name. It's very clear for you. Item for training here, for example. Then, if you would like to have this pages to be used for all, if there is different tenants, different instance, you put here all tenants, so it's available to different instances in nav. So this is also admin part. Then the most important is to put publish. You have to click here publish. So when you click publish, you see that there is automatically an URL was created for you. Okay, so you just take out from this field and go back. You see that you have this URL created. In order to make sure that this URL is accessible, you click on this and open in browser. So the system will load this list in the browser just to make sure to double check that you have that. So you see the data is not very structured, but this means that this URL is working for me. Okay, so Power BI, they will understand this structure already built in, but in order to double check that this URL is working, just click on it and make sure that you have data generated in the browser. So now that you have created this web services, I can use it. So the first step is I create a new line. I selected my page. I give it a name. These are within the first step. Then the second step is to publish. So I have to click on publish of this new web services. And the third step is to take this URL. So I'm gonna copy it. I copied the URL. I clicked on Ctrl C or right click copy cell. Now I go to Power BI. In Power BI, I have, as we mentioned last time, I have to click on you get data, then O data feed. So the way I usually bring data from Dynamics 65 or nav, it's the O data feed. So I paste my URL here and I click OK. So it will take a few seconds to generate the structure. And you see here, there is a problem of metadata is invalid. In case you have this problem, you might I'm just trying to retry because sometimes it might give you an error. Okay, let me take the second, the second
محمد
URL. All that.
لازم تاخد ايوه هيدا
ما هي اذا ما اخذت لا انا الستاندرد available
تاخد
web service
الاول بس
you can use take the new one you have to take this OData URL in case it will give you error of the v4 because the v4 is not anymore used in the new versions, but in case you are using nav it might work. So I paste now the OData, not v4, the second one. So I took the second URL directly in the OData URL, I copy it and I give it here. So it might work on the v4. If not, take the other one. In all case, you can use from now on for all version OData URL because this v4 they are stopping it from all current the future release. Okay, it was working, but because I did also update of Power BI today, so it will take only the OData. So now it show me a sample of my data, and this is data is a preview has been truncated due to size limits. So it's not all my data, but it's showing me all my columns, yes, but not all rows, just because it is a preview. So now I connected to my data. Before, if I would like to do certain activity on my data, I have to click on transform data. This is what I'm going to do now, just to show you that before I load, I can click on transform data. It will open the Power Query editor, okay, and it will show me all my data in front of me. So here I can see all data available. I just make sure if there is any numbers that I would like to use in my data as number, I must transform this to number in case they are the amount, for example, there is a unit of measure. I double check all my fields. So here in the item card, there is the inventory, for example. The inventory is a number. It comes here as text. This is the drawback of data sometimes. It does not give you the proper type of the field, the column. So you have to change this. You click on the column and you change the type to integer. In case it is integer, it might be decimal number. So Once you transform this, because the inventory, it might be 0.5 sometimes, it depends if the item unit of measure. So once I change it into a number, it will show me now a symbol of the sum near to it in the data and the report section. So in addition to this inventory, I can change also the unit cost. The unit cost is also decimal. The last direct cost is also decimal. You do it once. Now later on, once you refresh your data, all your data will be transformed. You see here, it is going all under the change type because you are changing type of different price. See here also unit price. It could be it is a number. You can put it here, for example, an integer. So it could be a whole number. So if it is not a decimal. So once you are done with all this, so this is very, you see here, it's not taking date, for example, last date modified. So you can also select here and select as its date time. So it show you properly a date time. Otherwise, it will not consider the date hierarchy in this time. So in this data that I'm going to bring. So I changed that direct cost, unit cost. I'm not going to do for every single field now, but you can usually, when you prepare your data, you can take all your time before you finish this. So I finished my transformation. I click now, close and apply. I didn't change the name of the query. I forgot. You could change it once you are on the transform section, or even after it is loaded here. You can change it automatically. So I have here query 1 because I have uploaded already item ledger entry before we started this session. So with the query 1, I can change it. I put item and click enter. So you will see that under this item, okay, just it is loading. The field that I made it number, there is this symbol. This means it is a number, decimal or integer. The date, it is now, there is a date hierarchy under it. So every date field in Power BI, it changed to this symbol also to show you that this date. So I have now all my items in front of me. How I can make sure that how many items, for example, I have, okay, I can put the Q&A, as I told you last time, this is a very powerful tools. I can put count item, for example. Okay, so count item, there is 149 item in my data itself. Okay, so I can move, uh, transform this into card in order to make sure that it is properly, this number is right. I can go back to data and see that I have 333. This is the item ledger entry. This is not the one. Make sure that you are selecting the proper data. When you select item, okay, it will show you here 149 rows. So this is the number of rows. He's 149. So it is correct. So I have 149 items. Okay, so please, before I move on with this, for the all of you, if you have a connection already to Dynamics Nav or Business Center, can you try to do this while before we proceed? That's just to make sure that we can proceed in the other section and you are able to do the assignment itself later on. So can you check this while I'm talking more? So you make sure that in web services you can take one of the available pages. If it is something, there is already item in the service name, you can put here the service name item, so it show you all the service available in item. There is item ledger entry. This is already created by me, but you see here there is Power BI item sales list. So you can add this query, for example. The query advantage of query, it is usually related to different tables. So you see this one is related to item and sales itself. There is item and purchase. So I'm gonna add also the query item sales list just to show you. I will take this OData URL, okay, and go to Power BI. I can add as much as I want of tables inside my Power BI. This is a report. Okay, I will paste it, click OK, and it will load. I will have this, it will show me now this data. Okay, it show me item number, sold post date, sold quantity, entry number. Before I load, usually I prefer that to go to transform data and to make sure that the sold number is a number, the date is taken properly, the type that I would like. So you see here, it was good to click on transform because the sold quantity is not taken as number. So I will put here the whole number. Okay, post date is a date, time. It is a date time. I don't know if it is date time or date. Okay, so I will take a date, this one, the other are correct. And I can change the query name here, item sales. Okay, put item sales table, say, and change it. Now, once I'm done, I click close and apply. In case you load the data and you forgot to do any of the steps that I would like to do on the table itself, you can go back by just clicking here on transform data. So I just wait this. I will have here now item sales. It is still loading. The first time is usually it might take time. I have here item sales table. Okay, in case I would like to change anything for any purpose, I can click again on transform data. So it will open this Power Query and I can apply any changes on any of these table already or page or query already created here. And you will have the already action done on the or steps done on these pages already saved here. So you will like add on these entries itself to these steps to your data. So you see here, sometimes be careful that there is nothing lost of the type. It is correct number and date, so everything is okay. You can apply your changes, then go click close and apply. Personally, I don't need to do anything because it's already done. So you see here now I have all my data. So the next step usually is what? For example, if I would like to, I will click outside here on the record. I can start selecting data that I would like to see. I want to see the item number. I want to see the sold quantity. And here the sold, this post date. So I can select post date. So it's, you see here, I can, once when you are building your reports, when you click on the field, the system automatically will show you the best ideal visuals in front of you, just to see the data that you are trying to select here. So if it is showing me example, this one is table. You see the selected visuals. When you click on the visuals itself, it will show you in here like border, gray border, the visuals that you have in front selected here. But you can always change this by selecting another visuals on the system itself. Okay, so you see now I can see the items that I have and the total sold quantity for each item. When I do mouse over on the column, it show me the sold quantity. Okay, so if I would like to see only the top 10 items sold, okay, I can always go to this visual, filter on this visual, and on the item number, I can select the top N, like we saw this last time, but I'm gonna repeat it because it is really useful. I can put here top 10, for example, and the system will ask me here, what is the value that I'm sorting this or getting the top of what? So if I want to see the top by sold quantity, so I can select this top quantity, apply filter. It will not change here before we apply. So I can see here now the top 10 item. If I want to see the sold quantity, the most sold first, then the others, so I would like to change the sorting. You see here now I have here certain icons, drill down, or go to the next level in case there is any hierarchy. But the sorting is available under this. You click on the 3 points, sort by, and you select sold quantity. So you see here that I have my items, okay, showed in between the most sold until the least sold. So if I would like to put the name of the item, this is something that I would like to show you now before I go and show you now how to bring from CRM. So we are trying to do a simple activities on the data before we do the CRM. Then we are going to do one dashboards advanced for Business Center that you can do the same for CRM itself. So because my item sales table is not there is no item name inside it, right? So I cannot see the name of the item. I see the number, but usually the number, it could be not meaningful for me. So the name is available where? The description of item, it is available in the item table. There is a number, there is, I don't know if there is a name here. Description is here. If I select the description and I put it here, it will not show me something proper in the access. Because why? Because let's say in place of item, because there is no relation. Okay, so if I move the item number, I put description, I don't have description properly, it will show me wrong, the all description, and there is no more proper data. Why? Because there is no relation between the table. I will bring back the item number. It's a little bit slow. Okay, I bring back the item number. So now I'm just gonna explain why the description is not shown properly. Because if I go to model of my data here, there is no relation between the item and the item sales table. So the system, as I told you last time, there is no relation between tables and nav by design. The relation is usually built between inside the table. We put the relation on the flow field, and in each field we put the relation. There is no the hierarchy. There is no relation between tables. So in order to do it, I can do it in Power BI. I just have to select the field that I would like to link, and I go to with the mouse to the other column that I would like to match with it. So the correlation will be created now, and the system will know that usually you see there is one too many, which is correct because one item might have different sales entry. So now after I did this step, I have correctly my relation between these two tables. So I can show description of item inside my reports. If I go to my reports, again, I'm gonna change the page here name. I call it item. Just to double click on the page name, put item analysis. It's always good to apply best practices. So in place of item number, I can add here if I'll show you another feature. When you mouse over now on the item, you see item number and sold quantity. If I would like to show the item description, when I do the mouse over, I can bring the description here and put it in tooltips. The tooltips is a feature that I can use to my visuals. You see here, I have now the first description that I have for my as I don't want the first description. Because it's not taking properly. Just let me. Okay, so the item number here. So in case now let me bring the description to the field to see if it's working now. Okay, so I will bring description. I add it here. You see the name of the item itself, it is showing now in place of the number. So if I move the item number, okay, I have Amsterdam lamp slide panel. How I can make sure that this is correct? I will remove back. I will put back the item number just to take one example to show you that it is correct. So I will select this item number and put it here. Okay, so the 1928, I will write it down -s. Okay, I will go to my table, in the item table. I can search for, sorry, so I can search for 1928-S. So the name is correct, so Amsterdam lamp. Okay, so which means that when I added this description, if I put the description on the top, okay, so Amsterdam lamp is correct. So it's showing me the correct description now because I created this relationship between tables. So for any purpose, if you have any field that is need to bring from another table, you need to make sure to create the proper relation between tables in order to have the proper data. Otherwise, you are not able to bring the proper description. So this is why we need usually to, in this data model part, we need to have this link between each other. It's the same for item ledger entry. And the item ledger entry here, I don't have the description of, I have the description. In case I don't have the description, this is description of the entry. So it's not the description of the item. If I would like to have the description of the item, I need also to have a link between the item number here and item number. So I can click here the item number, or I can do the same relation for the same field, what I mean, with another table. So you can create for in the same field here two relation, one for with item sales and another with item ledger entry. Now also it's showing me there is one too many. When it is showing one to this star here is, which mean there is a many. In case I would like to see in front of me these relationship, you can click on manage relationship. It will show you, in case the graphs is very complicated, you can always click on manage relationship and you see all these relationship in a table. Okay, and if you'd like also to the system to propose for you certain relationship, you can click on auto detect. The system will see the same naming and they will match. It might be practical, but sometimes it might not, because as you see here on the item, there is a field number, the other column is item number. Okay, so this is the way you can select any of the relationship, click edit to see what is the type of the relation. So it will show you that this relationship is between item ledger entries and item. Okay, it is many to one. Why it is here there is many to one? Because the item ledger is the one many and the item is the side of one. So there is, for each one item, there is many item ledger entry, which is correct. Okay, you can always it depends how it is showing you the data and the column here. So if it was here the item and the item ledger entry here, it will show you one to many. If I say I take for example this one, okay, the item sales table, click on edit, you see this I have item sales and item, it is also many to one. Okay, so this is the way that you can do the relationship. You can always do it from here also if you would like to do it manually and not on the graph itself. So now I linked my item to item ledger entry, so I will be able also to select any of the item ledger entry to see also description of item. So this is the way I can have my data from Business Central brought to me here. Okay, this is the first step. So I created a page or query. I published this query in Microsoft Dynamics Business Central. Okay, it's very important to publish, and I took the OData URL. It's not always valid to take the v4 anymore, so stick to this OData URL, copy it, then go to here to the reports and click on get data, OData feed, and paste this URL here, and it will work for you. Okay, so there is any question regarding this step? Just in order to make sure that you are all with me on this. It is clear. في حدا
Yeah, it is clear, Muhammad. However, we have an issue since we are connected to Navision through a remote desktop. So basically, we cannot copy the OData.
Okay.
It will not work. Okay, so probably we'll have to extract whatever data we want on Excel, and then from Excel we can get into
Okay.
POWERBI.
طب let me just, it's very important that you mentioned this to me, Ali. لأنه let me tell you the workaround لعلي which was proposed by Ali is exactly the thing that you can do now, since you don't have Power BI on the remote desktop. In case you have it on, you can download and install Power BI on your remote PC and do all what I was trying to do. In case you don't have this capability, you can always export the Excel sheets and bring it here. It will have all the other functionalities are exactly the same. And the relationship that I have just created, you can do it the same. If you brought two Excel sheets, they are not linked together, the Excel sheets. You brought the items in Excel sheet, you brought the item sales in Excel sheet, or item ledger entries. So this item ledger entry and item, there are two different sheets. You have them both now imported to Power BI. You go to model and you do this relationship. Okay, so it's very important that that you have to do this step if you want to have proper data from or certain information on the that is brought from the item table.
Okay, Muhammad, but I have a question here.
Yes.
And we were trying to extract or to import through OData the web or the query or the page from Navision to Power BI.
Okay.
Can we do that? If we cannot directly import it, can we use the same URL to import it through Excel? Or it will have to be copy paste? We
No,
have
you
to
have
go to the ledger itself.
No, in that case, if you don't have access on your Power BI to your nav, not until you are in front of a situation that your Power BI is on a PC, you cannot connect to your nav because it is available on server. There is security. You access it through remote desktop. You don't have direct access to nav. Otherwise, you could install nav on your PC and have this connection. So
But
since
let me please allow me to interrupt here, because
yeah, sure.
I was able to download Power BI on the remote desktop.
Great.
So now I have Power BI and nav on the same remote desktop interface, let me say. But even I tried URL, it didn't work.
Okay, great. So this is it will revert back to the first session when I mentioned something that and it is available on the to share it with your admin. It is available on this on the PowerPoints and in the video. In order to be able to use, if you are not able, if you have Power BI and Nav on the same PC and you are not able to connect, this means OData is not enabled on your instance. How you do this? Usually on the admin part of Dynamics Nav, on the instance itself, okay? I'm gonna show you. You go to business, the instance, Heidi, you don't have access to it. Usually you have to ask your admin, the person who has this access to it. Okay, he must go to the instance and on the OData section, he must click on enable OData service. If it is not enabled, you cannot connect. This is the only reason. Okay, so please ask Isabatcon for next time, ask your admin to enable this OData and you can see it again on the
Here,
video,
thank you.
so you can
It's
show it. Just enable this, and you will have a proper OData URL that you can use for your intersection. It will use this OData base حتى on the preview. يعني هون if you see here this URL, the first part of it, HTTP Ambarada PC 7048 BC44, it's the same here that I have on my OData. Then it will change for each type of page. At the end of this BC 140, you will see there will be URL for each page. So okay, you see here we have, okay, so you have just to make sure that this OData is enabled on your instance itself. If you,
fine.
okay.
Now going back to Ali's question or Ali's point, okay, we cannot use the same URL to export data to Excel. It has to be through copy paste.
You cannot send to Excel. You cannot send to Excel. And if you go now to item, I will go to sales. Okay, here I have.
Okay, I will have to copy and paste from here, but not via using or through using URL.
Okay, just بس هون قبل رودي, you cannot go and print send to Excel. You cannot click on this without doing
that. أنا عم بسأل بس عن ال URL.
إيه URL هلا.
It
will not work. It will
not work on Excel.
It will not work even on Excel. The Power BI and Excel, because both they are using the OData method, both. So even in Excel or Power BI, both they are using this OData feed methods, مثل ODBC سابقا. So in that case, if this is not available for Power BI, it will not be available also for Excel. You can just send to Excel and save this Excel and import it to Power BI. So it's very important what you are asking, because sometimes some people they will be struggling and they will don't know the reason. Yes, you have to enable this OData. It will give you capability to use this in Excel and or in Power BI, both the same way. Okay, so
sorry Muhammad, I have another question. Sorry, we're interrupting.
لا بالعكس شو
assuming we have an Excel sheet with a number of formulas in it, when we import it into Power BI will not take the formula itself, it will take the result of the formula,
the values,
right?
exactly. But always it will take the result. You cannot see the formula, but it's always up to date. And in case there is any change on the Excel and you save it, so this formula it applies directly when you refresh your data.
Yes,
so
whenever I refresh it, it will take it again from that same Excel sheet.
And the advanced,
it will not copy the formula into Power BI.
You need 100%. But you have in Power BI the capability to create formulas, and this I don't know if usually we don't cover this in the first this course. We do it in the advanced part of Power BI. There is formula and measures, and you do a lot of things similar to Excel. You can do it in Power BI in case you want to create formula in Power BI. There is what we call DAX. This is also languages that we can use in Power BI to sum, to do the calculation of different fields and divide it by certain formulas. So you can always do this in Power BI in case it is needed. Okay, so this is you can learn inshallah بالadvanced part once we read this. إذا كان معنا وقت the last session I might show you بس هيك quickly one or two column that it is calculated as formula in Power BI, so in order to use it in case you need it. Okay, but at this stage, since you don't have direct access like the OData access to Power BI, you know the steps. Okay, so once you will have this enabled, try it again after the sessions. But all the parts that I'm going to cover when creating the reports, it's exactly the same as if you brought the data from OData or from Excel. So yeah, what I mean, once data are here, either if you brought it Excel or data or directly live data is here. Everything that I'm doing now, like the model, the connection, the visuals that I'm using, the sliders, the filter, it will be applied to the same practice whatever the type of data is brought. Okay, so ما حيتفرق كتير عنكم. It will not be different from once you connected the data, it is loaded. So all the other practices are the same. whatever is the data for you. Okay, so I don't know if it is clear what I'm trying to say here.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. So this is for Business Central. Quickly, before we are going for sure do advanced practice, but I try to show you that the 4 steps in a very easy way. Now, what I'm going to show you, it's good. It's gonna be good for you also to learn this, because I'm sure one day you might be using also 365 CRM part. Okay, for CRM. Usually it is also under Dynamics 365. It is a sales, marketing and service model. There is another way to connect with the data from Power BI. The Excel part, when you export your data to Excel and you bring it to Power BI, it is the same. So if you export your CRM data to Excel, you can save it and bring it to Power BI exactly the same like Business Center. But if you would like to connect directly to Dynamics CRM, you have to do first, you have to go to Dynamics 5 customization. I'm gonna show you now how. Okay, there is something called Instance Web API. You just copy the URL. نحن on Business Central you copy the OData URL. In CRM we copy something called Instance Web API. We copy the URL and we bring it to Dynamics to Power BI when we click get data and Dynamics 365 online. Okay, so I'm gonna show you this step. This will allow you to connect with it. So either if you are using Dynamics 365, you have to go to settings, advanced settings, then go to customization. If you are using CRM, for the people that you are using the old version of CRM, you could go to settings and click on customization. All the others are the same. I'm gonna show you. Please try, whoever has access to CRM, to follow with me. So the first thing here, you go to CRM. I have CRM already here in front of me. Okay, so if you have to go first on, let me show you. You go to settings. Okay, this gear icon on the top of your screen, you click on advanced settings. So when you click on advanced settings, it will open another settings. If you are using Dynamics 365, if you are using CRM, the settings are available on the top menu. When after you click on the settings, you have to select customizations. Okay, it will go to customizations. Here we have developer resources. So you click on developer resources, and under Instance Web API, you have something called Service Root URL. If you don't have access to this, you just ask your admin, please send us the Service Root URL of our Dynamics 365 or of our CRM. Under CRM, it's also the same. It is called under CRM the Service Root CRM. So it's same API. You copy it, okay? So if you just selected and copy this, okay, Control C. Then we go to Power BI. Okay, I'm gonna create. In the same page, you can always bring data. I click Get Data, click on More. Honik, there is no web services like we have in Business Central, so you cannot take all data for a page or customer. Either you connect to CRM all tables as we do in Business Central when we have instance for it, or we have to use the Excel itself. So it's just opening. Now I put Dynamics 365. I select Dynamics 365 online, must be online. As I mentioned last time, in order to connect directly from Power BI to 365 or CRM, it has to be either online, either you deployed your CRM as online deployment. So you have access to it online. Okay, so now it will ask for your web API URL. You paste it. When you paste this, you click OK. You see, it's the same concept for Business Central, same concept. You just have to take the proper URL. So in Business Central, you take the OData URL that you have on your instance, or the OData of your page or query, and you paste it. In case of CRM, you put get data, more, Dynamics 365 online. You see here now on the navigator, it will open all table of CRM. It's a huge tables, huge number of tables also. I'm just making sure that I have good connection and it is taking time. Okay, now when I click on organization, it's still loading. Just the first time you load this with this connection, it will take time just to, and then it will cache this resource data connection, so it will be faster for sure. But first time connecting to your data source, it might take time. So now you see here I have all these tables of CRM are available. I have accounts, I have opportunity. I can put here, for example, opportunity. So it show me opportunity. I can select the table, okay, opportunities, for example, and I can select here, select related tables. So automatically, the system, if there is any relation, since it is connecting to CRM, it will know automatically the relation between these tables. So it will select automatically if there is anything, any relation between them, it will add them to your connection, okay? So I have first to select the first table that I'm going to bring to my Power BI, okay? So I'm just making sure that opportunity is selected, okay? So now it is still trying to bring all related tables. After I finish, I have to do the same rules here. So I click transform data or I load data. It's all the other steps. The only difference, guys, when connecting to data, you see now the system automatically, it highlighted all table that I'm going to use for opportunities or related tables to it. Okay, so what I will do, I will click on transform data. So now, even that it is a big number of data, it will open and start loading these data. You see how many tables I have brought? All these tables, opportunities, action, contacts, accounts, are related to opportunities. So this also, when you, if you can try it also in, when you brought nav directly to instance, you can also try to click on the related table. So now I have all my tables here. I can see opportunities, for example. So this transform, it applies the same as we did for Business Central or Excel or whatever data source is for us. So connecting the right URL, click on transform, you have the Power Query in front of you. Now you can apply your changes, okay? But see here, it is, because I'm connecting to to live data on Dynamics online, and I'm bringing a lot of data. It's taking a little bit time to load. Again, this is whenever in the first, because it's still saving this in temporary tables, then all the reports will be very fast. Don't worry about this. I can see, for example, I will keep it a little bit loading. Okay, so once I have my data loaded in front of me, so I will be able to do the same transform activity that I did. I can check the field of number. I have somebody who asked me last time through the classroom that there is in CRM there is some fields that there is ID, good ID. This because in CRM there is a relation between tables and certain that, for example, the account ID in opportunity, it is a global ID. So it will show you global ID in front of you. So this is why it's not wrong data. It might be showing you global IDs in front of you, but at the end, when you show the name or description of the item, the accounts, or it will bring the right data. So it all depends on the structure of your table. So just trying to see, because sometimes it is still applying. I will try to load just to make sure it will be loading while working on the CRM. So I will keep it and to load this. So you see here there are pending changes. So it is adding. So on the same Power BI file, same reports or page, I have now my Business Central data or NAV data. I can have also Excel data, and I have also my CRM data. So this is also very important, because there is this flexibility to have any type of data source in front of you, and you manage this relationship between tables. Then you build your dashboard later on. You build your reports first, different report, different pages. Okay, so you will be able to bring data from any places. So even if you have a website and you can connect to this, bring data from your websites, how many this customer is browsing which site, which form he's spending time. So you can all these data, bring it. Even you can bring your Facebook data, for example, or LinkedIn data. So it's really advanced from this side. I will keep it loading on my screen. Okay, just making sure that, okay, so all this data here that is available on my CRM part, I will go back to home. Sorry, accounts. I'm just closing this one. Okay, so so now what is happening, Power BI is bringing data that is available on the Dynamics 365, the customer insights or the customer sales. There is, as you know, there is sales and service and marketing. There is three main models that is going to bring data to your Power BI itself. So it's still loading, but again, I can tell you that this usually it's done the first time you connect to your Dynamics 365. Otherwise, it will be faster than this. Okay, so the first step for both, we saw that in order to have our data, to prepare our data connected, in Business Central, our methodology is to have a query page, publish it, copy URL, and get OData feed. Okay, and I have another one, if you remember, I'm just gonna use another one here. We have also for on-premise or Dynamics 365 Business Central or Nav Online, we have also the same feature that I showed you on the CRM now. We can go on Get Data, click on More. Okay, here I put Dynamics 365. I will select either Business Central or either on-premise. I have also, I think Nav is available here. Yeah, I have also Nav if you have connection with Nav. So we can put here Dynamics Business Central or on-premise. I tried now show you the 365 online. The difference here in the Business Central or on-premise, both when you click on connect, it will open for you also. It will pop up to ask you for the URL, the same methodology for all Dynamics, and either for SAP or Oracle, it's always asked for the URL itself. You see here, because I already have this Business Central connected, it open automatically the business center for me. The online is available. I have my user already here, and I have my company directly connected to it. It didn't ask me for business center because it is already connected to it. If I wanted to change the data source, okay, I could also, where I can see my data source name, I can click here on transform. There is something called data source settings. When you click on it, let's see if it is still loading. Yeah. You see here, it will show you in the data source what is the data source that I'm connecting to it. Okay, so where I can always see the data source that I'm using, and clicking here on the transform data source settings, you can also change your data source. Okay, I'm gonna show you in the next part of the session today. If we have already a built-in report like the one that I'm in front of it. Okay, here you can have this sales reports available for Dynamics CRM already built in. This dashboard, this is, you see, this is a lot of reports: sales activity, sales pipeline, sales top wonders. This reports are already available as a template available for CRM. We can open it in Power BI and change data source to our data source, and you have your data in front of you. Okay, this is what happen usually if you have any sample Power BI file already available. You can change that source if it is using standard fields of Dynamics. If there is no customized fields, you can always use it for your own field. Okay, so I'm just trying to see here. It's still loading. I will keep it loading. I'm gonna use this one. Okay, so before I move on, I will show you once all data loaded for CRM. I will show you how it works. Before I move on, if you have any question regarding this step, so what we saw in this first part, we saw how we connect our data to prepare it to connect our data with Power BI for Dynamics 365 Business Central or NAV, and Dynamics 365 customer sales, service, and marketing, or what we call CRM. So these two way, from now on, whenever you have any Power BI connection with data different from this, it's always, you just have to know the URL that you have to probe. Okay, so just to make sure that you know the URL of your organization, of your online application, you can link to it and start using it for your data. هلا in this, the second section, I will start using the power of Power BI. So I will talk about all visuals, how we use these visuals, and what is the purpose, and what is the usage of each visual. So we'll discuss this. So we finish our module 3, and we do this labs all together. Okay, so now I'm gonna take example of, let me close this one. I'm gonna close it because it is having load also on the system. I will not save. I'll close this one. Just try to. Okay. Now I'm gonna open again Power BI, another file of Power BI. So when we enter to Power BI, we are opening something called like PBIX. It's a file, so we can open already available Power BI, or we can create a new one. I'm just loading. Okay, I opened a new one. So now it is opening, just a few seconds. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm gonna take example of specific web services. So I'm gonna create a new one. Okay. هلا صار كل السكرين تاعتي freezing. So I'm sorry for this delay, but I'm just trying to close certain things just to. Okay, I will cancel this one because it's taking too much. I will just load later on. Okay. Okay. So now I'm using a new Power BI sheet. So the first step, as we mentioned, I'm going to bring my data. So you do it your way. You can bring it from Excel, or you can do it. I'm gonna use the OData of Business Central or Dynamics Nav itself. So I'm gonna click on Get OData Feed. Okay, I'm gonna paste here. It's not saved. Okay, here I put web services. Okay, I'm gonna copy the item and item sales, and we are going to do a complete dashboard for items. Okay. Okay, so and for this example, I'm gonna use two pages, one page and one query. The page is the item for training, and the query is for item for sales. You can also export to Excel your item and item ledger entry if you want. Okay, I don't know why even Mav is a little bit slow now. Can you in that time just prepare your Excel sheets, the item and item ledger entry? Okay, so what is taking too much is the Power BI, second one, because it is loading big time. Okay, so I will take here the item. I will put in service name والباور بي اي اللي ياخد كل الريسورسز.
Yeah, you cannot trust the CRM.
شفت من ورا السيارة هذه اللي صار
لا
فيها هيك.
huge data. CRM
ايه
is huge.
لا فيها كتير،
there's
وهيدي فيها سامبل فيها كتير داتا. مظبوط.
هلا بنزعل نحن جماعة السيارة يا مستر علي.
هذا بدنا نلوم احمد.
ما ذنبه السيارة، هاي تدخلات خارجية من قبل الناوي.
طلعت براعي يعني انت هلا.
Okay, so أخذت أنا ال OData URL of the item for training, which is the item page. Okay, so I click on copy and I go to Power BI, I paste this, and I'm loading this items list. So I have my items, it's gonna be loaded to my Power BI file. Okay, this is the first step. So I have my page already published. I just take the URL and paste it in nav. I will just again, I will transform this just to make sure that the inventory part is take it as number. If the date is take it as date. So or I apply changes just to make sure the query. So here, this is the item table. I will call this query item table, and the inventory I will change it to decimal, and okay, base standard cost, unit cost, put a decimal. Okay, and I will change the date, last created date, just to make sure if I would like to get certain data of related to period or time or date, months, year. So I can use this date field itself. Okay, the second one that I'm going to use is the query of item sales. But let me change the date here. Last modified date, I will put it as date. Okay, so all the other are okay with me. I will click close and apply. So I will have this fields here automatically. Once when you start your page, there is nothing inside. When you load your first connection and the first part of data, you will have this field section expanded, and you have the name of the query and all field available. So this is the first step usually happening. Okay, you see here now I have fields. You have this. You can always search for any fields. If it is a long list of columns or fields itself, you can put the name of your field itself. Here I will take advantage of the time now until it is loaded. And still, by the way, it's not cancelled here. Okay, here I will just to explain here. So in Power BI itself, there is 3 sections. The first one is here, the one that I'm in front of it, is the one called reports. Okay, so this one is, you see here now, I have the item table and all my fields are down. And the one that I changed to number, I have this icon of number. So in case you have any of your fields sometimes was not able to do summation or aggregate the values, this means this field is not numbered. The date is now the icon of date. So all my fields are here. Okay, I can always expand or divide this or collapse my fields. Also, you can select, you can change the name of the field inside this section. So this first part is the fields part. Okay, and if you would like to search for any, let's say, a quantity, if I would like to see if there is anything related to sales, for example. So when you put sales, it will show you sales unit of measure. There is inventory. So if you would like to search for inventory, it show you there is inventory field, inventory posting group. So this is exactly what usually you might need. As you know, also in the nav and business center, you cannot usually search for your fields. The second section is the visualization. The third one is the filter part. So if I would like to add certain filters, so these three parts at the right side of the page is very important. Filters, this here you have different filters. You have filters on the visual itself, filters on this page, and filter on all pages. We are going also to use this now during our practice. Okay, and we have this visualization tool that we are going. So the first, and from this part, there is the first section is report. So this is where I can build my report. It's not called dashboard again, please. Just to make sure I have reports, and for each report, there is different pages. I can add as much page as I want. Okay, so I'm gonna put in first page, it's gonna be like item analysis. Okay, item analysis. And I'm going to add another page, and this page is gonna called sales analysis. Okay, so in order to be able also to do the sales, I need to load data of sales itself. Okay, I will add it here later on. So the second tab, we call it tab here, is data. So in this section I can see my data itself, and I can see the value of the data. Okay, so when I click on data, I will see all tables that I have, and I can see also my data available inside this section. Okay, it will be loaded automatically, and okay, so this one, it will be load itself when we enter into data section. The third one is the models. So here in the model, I can link my tables all together. Okay, this is the three part that I have. Now I'm going to load the second, the query of item sales. I have item sales by customer. I have item sales and profit. Okay, so I can finally, this one was stopped. So I'm gonna just freeze. So I'm going to select the query of item sales and profit. Okay, so what I have to do is just to go to this section or data URL, copy it, and come here, select all data feed, and paste it. And I will click OK, so it will load automatically preview. It will show me a preview of my you see here I have more data of what I have in the item sales. So it is really nice. It show me the vendor from where I buy, the inventory, net change, net invoice, quantity, purchase, so sales quantity. I have all the data that I usually need to see from its sales and profit. Okay, so I will click transform just to make sure to select properly the fields that are numbers. If you were able to, so here in the query, I will call it item sales and profit. And okay, so I change the name. You see here the profit, I will put here transform, put it decimal. Standard cost must be decimal. Unit cost decimal. If you were able to connect directly, if you have this instance in nav like we did for CRM, all types it will comes correctly done. Okay, بس هون لأنه بالأو data usually it lose certain specifications. So بالinventory I have whole number, the net change I have whole number, net invoice. I can select a couple of fields if I would like. Also purchase, sales. I can click on control and select 3 columns, for example, and put whole number. So now I have how I can make sure that it's whole number. The icon will be different. The one of text, it is ABC 123. The number is 123. If there is decimal, it will show you 1.2. Okay, so I have all my data now correct. There is no table, there is no data because this is showing me the values that is currently for vendor. Okay, so now I have two tables. I finished. When I finish, I can click on close and apply. So I will have now another table here, which is item sales by quantity, sales and profit. Okay, so this one is added here. Hala. The next step usually, so we connect it to our data. Again, you have to apply the same steps like I'm doing now. So you have added your data. In order to have really proper dashboard, you need to model your data properly. So I just need to come here. You see there is already linked available between the item number here and this item number. So it's correct for me. The item here, it is correct. So it's 1-to-1, exactly. So each item table will have one query here, and I have this description already built in. So the connection, it was selected automatically by the system, which is great to have this automatically. So I just make sure if I would like to do any connection, I can always select this field and bring it to the other one. So now I connected my data, I modeled my data, I make sure that the connection, the relationship between my two tables are correct. I have to do what? I have to select my visuals. Okay, I'm going to discuss now a little bit more about the visuals. So you have in this first line what we call these charts. Okay, so there is column chart, this bar chart, how do we call it stacked bar chart? Why? It is usually colored. It is including a column or bar, same time stacked, and it could be divided. It could show you two values inside the item. So if I would like, for example, Anna, to see for the item sales quantity and purchase quantity. Okay, usually when I use this only purchase, I have purchase quantity. Okay, I will select, for example, item number, and I will select sales quantity, and I have purchase quantity. So this usually for each item, I have sales quantity and purchase quantity. If I would like to see both values in front of me, I can select this stacked bar chart. So you see, even if I have already selected this, so there will be two different colors. Let me show you the difference. Okay, so you see there will be the sales quantity is in blue, dark blue, and the purchase is in the white or the blue fatih. Okay, the light blue. So this is usually what happens in stack. If I would like to see these columns near to each other, okay, I can select this what we call bar chart. So it will show me for each value there will be a column for it, a bar for it. Okay, so this both there is a clustered bar chart or stacked bar chart. Usually it is used if we have two values in front of each other. If I don't like this alignment, I can select always this stack, the column chart, which is regular column. You see there is a lot of items. I have this, there is an arrow here, there is no values. So in order to bring only the value, the items that I would like to see, I can always do filter. So if I would like to see all items that are purchased, okay, so I can put here all items purchase quantity greater than 0. I'm filter on this visuals. Okay, so when I click apply, it will show me all items that are purchase quantity greater than 0. So you see here there is always purchase. If I will also, I would like to see all items that they have sales, so I can put here greater than 0. So I can also apply filter. So you see I have only 6 items that they have sales greater than 0. So this is why the stacked charts are usually used if I would like to see the values in front of each other. Okay, so I will show you also another values: unit cost, unit price. You see the stacked, it will have all values on the column. So I can see from here that what are the purchase quantity. If there is sales, then it show me unit cost and unit price. So on the same chart, in the same column, I see all values. This is why we use what we call the stacked one. So I can see it in this alignment or the other alignment. If I want, I will remove purchase quantity, sales quantity, just to show you. You see here, for example, I have the unit cost. This one, it will show unit price is in dark blue, unit cost is in blue, the light one. So I can see the unit price. So when I want to compare the values in front of each other, it's always better to select this type of cluster column. So it show me the unit price and the unit cost. So these are the purpose of having the clustered bar chart or column clustered column chart. So البار هي بتكون alignment is from right, from left to right, or from bottom to top. It will be. So these are the first four purpose. Okay, this one, the percentage, it show me percentage. So it will if there is values like quantity available and sold, so it will show you how much I have a percentage of each value. So it will consider all values as 100%, and the unit per cost, it is like 35%, and this one 64%. So it will consider like the both values are 100. So, and it will consider each quantity or each value as a percentage from the total. So this is usually, it could be important if I would like to see how many item available and how much I sold, for example. Okay, so this is, in that case, it's better when I use percentage. It's always better to use something like inventory. Okay, and sorry, I will use the purchase quantity and sales quantity. So here you will see that it will show me that I sold, it's like 62%. ببين قديش the sales part of the whole purchase. Okay, so this is why usually we use the sales quantity. This is better if I use the inventory, okay, itself. Okay, you see here, so this inventory is in dark blue and sales is on the light blue. So for example, this one, there is now 81% of item that I have available in inventory because I sold already 18%. So this is the percentage is usually used when my values together are considered like 100%. So it is like the available and sold, inventory available or transferred. So I can use these charts. Line chart, it showed me a line for each value. So for example, here it showed me the inventory and sales quantity. So I can see the line for each one. This is also important when I can use for something like sales unit price. So I can see the unit price and unit cost. So it will show me here that the unit cost, this is the unit price. I can see which one is having the highest profit, for example. How I can also do this, usually, if I have the profit, you see here, I have here profit amount. If I would like to see the profit in a proper case, I usually use this kind of, so just before to close, this is the line chart. Line chart, usually we use it to see values and a line for each value. I can add as much value as I want. So I can add here the profit. Okay, so you see I have another line for the profit itself. Okay, so this is the way I can see for each line, it will be a value in front of me. So even I can use it also for the sales quantity. I can see the inventory, sales quantity, purchase quantity. So I can see how much the purchase is here in orange, and the inventory is in blue, and the sales. So you see here I have inventory I have a lot of this 4,000 because I don't have much of sales, but I have also purchase much. Okay, so it's always referred to. And if I would like to change sorting again by inventory, for example, or by sales, by purchase, so I can change to see it, and it will show me this data sorted by inventory. So I can always change sorting for any graph by just select which type or which column that I'm going to sort my data. But in order to have a proper values, like for each column or for each visuals, it depends on the type of data that I would like to see. For example, here I have area chart. The area chart usually it's the same like line chart, but the difference it colored the area itself. So home, for example, the sales quantity and purchase quantity is not that much that it is important for you to color. You can use it, for example, if I would like to see the sales LCY and see the profit. So it will show me that sales here, you see the profit is very low comparing, the profit is 48. Okay, and I think this is the profit percentage because it's fixed on all. If I would like to check my data, I can go to item sales profit. Okay, so you see here the unit cost, unit price. It's 91%. It's percentage. This is why it's not very valid when we saw it on the itself on the screen. So we can add the profit amount in order to have it the more reasonable for us to see it. So it depends always what we are seeing on front of us. So it's if you have the profit percentage, what is really important to see, we can see it this way. So in the line values, I can see the profit. So it shows me the percentage of my profit for each sales of item that I have here. Okay, I'm still having filter on purchase, so I removed it. This is why I see I have a better. Now I can see all items that have sales. So it will show me the profit percentage. You see here that this is profit 0. This one is 41. This one is 48%. So I can always see my data. If I would like also to sort my data based on the profit, so to see also the item with most profit. So this way I see the sales of items. I can see clearly that I have a problem with this item. The profit is high, but my sales is low. So I can take action. And this is what we usually say, that the importance of having the proper action, and when we have a proper visualization of data. So from now here, I can see that this item, they don't have good sales. I can always, if I would like, for example, to have the worst item sold, for example, okay, the least item, I can always go, I will remove, I can keep also the sales quantity, but on the item number, I can tell them I need the top. Okay, the top could be the bottom 5. Okay, so, and I add here the sales quantity, sorry. So it will show me now it removed, because I have the bottom are also having 0. Just if I select the top 5, it will show me the most sold. if I consider the bottom 5 are usually the items that have sales quantity 0. Okay, so but I also have this filter. Sorry, will sales quantity is less than 0. So I will take this one, is show me the sales. I will consider also to see the sales quantity in my column. So I can see that I have 108, 12, 13, 11. So these are the top 5, but the bottom 5, okay, now it showed me the bottom 5. It was still loading. Okay, so the bottom 5. Okay, so top 5 is working, but there is a bug here. The bottom 5 must also, it's not showing the only bottom 5 of item. It's showing me more than 5. So it is something that has to be related. Usually I can بدي I can sort always the by sales. Let's say the bottom 5 sales amount, for example. Let me see if it works. So here, if I would like to see the most sold item, for example, okay, so this is showing me in column value. I'm gonna see here sales LCY. So I can see, and I can change sorting to sales to see the most sold items. Okay, so these are the top 5. The bottom 5, why it's not showing properly? Okay, these are all this is the profit. Okay, so it show me there is no the sales LCY. It is there is no, because the profit at the bottom are having 0. Okay, so I will take this greater than 0. So when I take because the bottom, I took 2 filters that contradict each other. The bottom 5 are having 0, while I selected the sales LCY to show me the greater than 0. So this is why it will not show properly the items. So this is, but it is showing top 5 because there is a lot of items having equal 0 the sales. It show me more than 5. This is also a bug inside. It could show me only top 5. So this is the one that it's really profitable to use the line and stacked column when we have 3 values. Okay, so I will remove the filter here on the number. So it will show me all items. Okay, I can use this in case I have, for example, the sales LCY and the purchase LCY. So it showed me 2 value, and same time I want to see the amount itself of the profit. So I can see the line, this is profit. Why there is positive a number? Because maybe here there is a return of purchase. You see, I have return of purchase, I have sales. So there is 2 type of values. So it showed me values in the positive side and negative side. So it's very important to see this kind of values. But always, if I would like to remove certain items, for example, here there is a lot of items that they don't have any purchase. Okay, so I can remove the items that have greater than the amount LCY greater than 0. So I will see only the item that has purchase. Okay, so this is where I can apply my filters properly. So I have also the line stacked. This one is the same as the stacked line and stacked column. This one is called line and clustered. So the difference is the values are not on the bottom and the top, they are near to each other. So and same time I can see the sales amount, I can see the purchase amount, and I can see the profit percentage. So in that case, in that way, I can always see it properly. I can also change sorting to purchase, so it's better it show me the percentage of this in a better way. Okay, so this is how I change my visuals. I have what we call ribbon charts. Ribbon charts, it show me all values in one place, and for it will show me a color for the sections. And from كلمة غير, there is each one, there is a difference of item, there is this light item. So this is a chart itself, the value of purchase. This is value of purchase. And in the middle, this one is just for color, to color one. It's like showing you like vague. Okay, this is why they call it a ribbon chart. It's like a ribbon. Okay, so whenever you value it, it color all the spaces between each item. So this is how we usually use it, and it's important if I can sort it by purchase. Okay, you see it changed. So it colored only the sales because the purchase is in like here red, the light red, and the sales is in blue. So it color the section between the blue and light blue, and section between the purchase in light red. Okay, so this one I remove the profit to show only two values. So you see I have now two colors, and this is how it showed. So this one is called ribbon chart. It show me two value, but it color all the space between the column itself. I have also something like waterfall color. It show me also these values in like a waterfall. So again, you see, for example, here it show me sales value. It showed me for each item, it considered the total of the sales as 100%, and it showed you for each section how much it took from the sales. So in case I would like to see, for example, the best top five in sales amount, so it will consider here all sales, and you see here it will consider that this total of them I will move because the purchase, there was a purchase. So the total amount of the sales, it is like 100%. The total is 58,012, the amount. So, and for each item, it will show you how much it took, like a percentage. This is similar to this one, the funnel. The funnel, it will consider the highest one as the top 100%, and it will show you all the others as percentage from the first one. You see here, this one, 19676, it show me 100%. The other one is 48%, as you can see from the screen, 48% of first, and 48% of previous. In case there is another, and if you highlight this one, it is 43% of the first, and it is 90% of the previous. So it will show you the percentage of the amount from the previous value and the first value. So this is how it looks. The water, it is called also funnel. Okay, so you can use it also to see the values, and you can see it by number, or you can see it by another criteria. You can see it also, for example, by vendor number. If I would like to see by vendor number how much I am purchasing, so I can see vendor, and here I will put purchase value. So I can see from where I'm purchasing, and I will remove the sales. I put the purchase LCY and this top 5. So you see here, it will show me the vendors that I'm buying my items and the vendor number, okay, and how much I'm buying from each vendor as percentage. So you see here, I have vendor 20. There is vendor empty in the data. There is items with no vendor. Okay, so this is why it showed me that from the item that there is no specification, I have this amount, and from item 20, I have 15.16. If I would like to see the name of the vendor in place of number, I can put the name here and remove the number. So I have this itself, the item. Okay, so this is what we call funnel. في scatter chart, it also show me usually in a graph بكل وحدة where is the purchase LCY based on certain criteria. I can see it on based on item. I will put the item on the axis and then details. So here I see it says LCY. So you can consider different type of, so it will show me here that there is a purchase 4172. So it will show you for each, here, for each customer, you have a color. It's showing me the purchase and the as X. Okay, so for this color customer, when I see that this is the purchase amount, if you would like to see also another criteria by the purchase, for example, quantity, and so it will go more to show you another criteria. So this is the purchase LCY and quantity, and which one it will decide what is the size of your this circle. You can define that in case it is a purchase amount. So you see here I have now bigger circle based on the criteria. So this one is important if I would like to see in a very nice chart what are the volume of purchase that I have based on a specific item or for a specific vendor or for specific item posting groups. Okay, so this is what we call scatter chart. Okay, we have this famous pie chart. Pie chart هو اللي احنا شو عملنا؟ عمل له show me the purchase a day I'm buying for items. Okay, and for tooltip I can see also quantity. You see it show me and tooltips. This is what you would like to see when you mouse over this chart. Okay, so it will show you by default the values that are already available here. So I have the number of the item here. I have the purchase, and it add to me the purchase quantity. See here, so the number and the sales by default is added. Okay, because there is here also sales, and it show me the percentage that of purchase because I added purchase LCY inside this, so I can see which are the top 5 item purchased. So if here it's showing me the number in the legend. I have the sales LCY. Okay, I will remove the legend. I can put the description of the item. I don't have it here, so I can select it from the item table because there are relation between. If I put here description, I have description, so I can put it in the legend. So you see, I can see the name of each area. So this is side panel, this is the base, this is the Paris. So, and it will show me the name of the item itself because I added to the legend itself. Okay, I could also add item posting group, sorry. If I would like to see by posting groups, for example, there is gender, product, or inventory. If I select, for example, here, the legend could be to be gender. So I can see how many raw material and retail manufacturing. So from each vendor, this one, it is buy from 70,000, 71. So the details are the number. I can see the value of purchase, which is colored by posting group, because I put in the legend which is define the color for my chart in the posting group. So if I would like to remove it, I can add also inventory posting groups. You see here the inventory posting group is raw material, finish, the same as product here itself. So this is how we usually change the legend and values. We have also what we call the donut chart. It's similar to this chart. Okay, we have pie chart and donut chart. The difference is the one is empty in the middle. It looks more like 3-dimension. And finally, in this section, I'm gonna discuss this tree map. It show me, okay, for each group, okay, what is the item number by value of purchase. So it show me the purchase of each product. So I can, if I would like to see only you see here, if I remove this detail, so I can see by posting group how much I have purchased. It show me this tree map. It show me which one, each one قديش اخذ الفوليوم تبعه. So if I can see it by purchase, I can see it also by, for example, by sales. I would like to see أي أكتر items posting groups they are sold, so I can select sales LCY, put it in value. So you see I'm using raw materials more than finished and pre-sale, because this sales is usually sales. That's why it's considered also the consumed. So I can also see which vendor is the one I'm selling their item more than others. So I can put here the vendor name. So all my sales. So the London is I'm selling mostly from the items that are bought from the London postmasters. Okay, so this is the tree map that I have also we covered. So we covered the first 3 lines. We are going to cover the other 3 lines after we finish our first and the fourth module, in order to be able to start practicing. Okay, guys. So now I would like from you, because we have how we prepare data from Business Center. We have also how we prepare also from CRM. We bring it. It took a lot of time. We could select 1 or 2. Now I would like you to practice this and take. So each one of you, please, you have this assigned from the module 3. You have to add the page vendor ledger entry, item, and item ledger entry, and value entry. If you are not able to, since you are not able to add the page to Business Central, okay, I want you to go to vendor and vendor ledger entry, okay, item ledger entry, value entry. It will not be able, but it's going to be very big. So export this to Excel. Okay, then bring it to your Power BI. And once you are done, please, I would like you to show me a screenshot of the field section. And take me a screenshot, show me that you have the vendor ledger entry, item, and item ledger entry in this section. So we can use this tables in module 4. Okay, guys. So please bring 4 tables: vendor ledger entry, item ledger entry. Okay, from your because you are not able to bring query from the sheet. Import it to Power BI. Send me a screenshot, and we resume after 10 minutes from now. So you might need about 5 minutes to do this. Okay, so the one who finish it quickly, he can take more break. So, and we'll take 5 minutes break. So we resume at 5-10 minutes. Okay, do you have a problem?
Okay, Muhammad, I have a small question,
Yeah, sure.
if I may. if we prepared on Power BI any chart, okay, and we want to copy paste to PowerPoint or to Excel or something,
We're gonna
can
see
it be
this.
done?
We're going to see
Okay,
this.
all
You can
right.
export it to Excel. You can export it to to PowerPoint. We can copy it as image. We are going to see once we are going to build this dashboard today after you finish the break. So we are going to see how we export this to PowerPoint or to send it email or to export it to Excel. Okay.
Okay.
هنشوفها بالبعد break. Okay, so we will take like يعني 5 minutes عندكم like practice, then we go to 5 minutes break, so we resume at 5:10 إن شاء الله أو 5:15 حسب ما نشوف انتوا خلصتوا بالpractice. I'm gonna stop recording لأنه عم بيكون الريكورد كتير كبير. هعمل I will upload the first section as a video, then I upload the second section after the break to another video. Okay, just to make sure that you have two videos أحسن ما يصيروا كتير كبار. Okay, I will stop this recording for the first section, then we resume at second section. See now if they have any question, because I have to take 5 minutes break just to make something to drink and to have rest, then I will be back. Okay.